Oh, there
Yay.
we go. All right. Like I said, thank you for having me. I'm going to start with the basics. So a lot of you, I'm sure, really haven't done anything with your kvCore, or maybe you already have, but there are some things that you're missing. So we'll go through a few of the things that you should be having, starting out with kvCore. So right here on the dashboard, this is where you're going to see a lot of the activity that's going on. So if you have leads in here, or if you have people that have been signing up on your website, you're going to see all of that activity here. You're able to see what they're looking at, how many times they viewed it. And if they have been looking a lot, you'll see that there's like a little fire symbol. So there's a lot of different things on here that you'll be able to keep track of. But the first thing you want to do is download the kvCore mobile app on your phone. So you'll see it right here. It says download mobile app. Just make sure you have that downloaded. You have the notifications on. That way, anytime you get a new lead, you can, text them from your phone, or you can call them, whatever you do in your business. One thing to be mindful of in kvCore is the smart number. So if you are going to be texting leads from kvCore, you should know about this. So if you see right here, this phone number, I get a lot of agents asking me, like, what is this number? This is your smart number that kvCore assigns you when you get your kvCore account. So this might not be the area code that you're in. It may not look familiar to you, and that's because it's a shared number. So if you click right here on phone, you'll see that it tells you that it is a shared number. It's routing through all agents. So what that means is that you can text your leads back and forth, but if they were to call you, this number is a shared number. So it might be routed 9 times out of 10, will be routed to another agent, because I've actually done this. I tested it out, and it really does send the call to someone else, because it's a shared number. So just be mindful of that. If you don't want to purchase the smart number, you can see right here, it says buy number. This is where you can purchase a smart number. So if you can see right here, it's your own smart number. You get to choose the area code, but you can't choose the number. I've heard from other agents that if you're already paying for a dialer, like a different phone number on a different platform, you may be able to integrate that with your kvCore. But other than that, it's just a random number. You just pick the area code, and it's about, I think it's $27 a month. I can't remember. But yeah, $27 a month. Some of you may not want to pay for that subscription, so I would just say use your cell phone. Don't use kvCore for the messaging. Or what you can do is add your phone number into the text message that you send out. So just make sure you say, if you'd like to reach me, this is office number, if you want to reach me on my cell, and then include your cell phone number. The only other problem I see with the smart number is that it always tells them in the message, the first message that you send, it says to unsubscribe, reply stop. So a lot of times when people see that, they think, they assume and they know that that is an automated message, and so they just automatically reply stop. So that might be why when you're texting people or you're turning on campaigns, a lot of people are texting back stop with the text. It's because it says that in the text. So if you don't want any of that to happen, I would just use your cell phone number. So the next thing I want to tell you is that you should have your profile set up. So if you click on your name right here, you just click on my profile. And if you're curious about what your website looks like, some people have told me, like, I don't even know what the website looks like. You just click your name and then click on this website symbol here, and it will open up the website, and you'll be able to see what that looks like. All right. So you do want to have your profile set up. A lot of agents come to me and they're like, I already set up my kvCore, and they tell me to do an audit for them. And I see that this is all that they have set up. So you want to make sure you have this, all of this information in here. You want to make sure you have your photo, your name, your MLS IDs. If you are part of multiple MLSs, you can add them here. You would just put a comma and then add the other MLS ID. If you're still having issues with your MLS, say, a lot of agents, they're licensed in multiple areas. Maybe she's licensed in Houston and she's also licensed in another state, right? So there's a way to put both of those areas on your website. Number one, you have to make sure that you look on your website at the very bottom, and it will tell you the MLSs that you're associated with. So this is all the listings for the Houston MLS, they'll be on her website. But if she doesn't see the other state, that's how you know that the MLS is not integrated. So you will need to fill out something called a commingling. So if that's you, just let me know or just look it up. It's just a form that you fill out and you just let them know, hey, I want to add this to my kvCore, and then you'll be able to start pulling listings, and then you can feature them however you want on your website. All right. The other thing, a couple other tips that I have, kvCore emails like to go to spam, especially because we all are using EXP domains, right? We're using @EXP Realty email and .exprealty.com. So especially the email, this becomes a problem because a lot of EXP agents are just throwing out emails and a lot of people are unsubscribing. So that means that your emails are most likely going to the spam folder. And there are a few tips that I can give you to avoid that from happening, right? So number one, you can purchase a email domain. So what that means is she has Dina@cityontheriserealty.com. She bought this from like GoDaddy or another spot in order to have this personal domain. So that's one tip. The other thing that you want to do is make sure you have the address inside of the email signature. So not in the photo, you got to have it in text inside of the email signature. So this is her email signature. This is what I created for her. And I made sure to add her address. Okay. The other thing I can tell you to get the emails out of spam is to make sure that you are texting your leads and asking them to check for their email. Just let them know you sent an email. Just tell them to reply so you know that they received the email. So those are just a couple tips because I don't want you guys to start sending emails and you're like, why am I not getting responses? You know, what's going on? Just be mindful of that. Ask them to check the spam, purchase an email domain, and make sure you have an address in your email signature. Okay, so just fill all this out. Make sure you have your social media accounts in here because this is going to show up on your website on the top right corner. So this is all basic information that you should have in here. Make sure you have a bio. And the reason I say this is because in the EXP agent directory, you're going to see your information pulling from kvCore. So just everywhere that you have a platform, so kvCore, in the enterprise, all of that, make sure you have everything filled out because when someone is looking for an agent in your area, you want to make sure you have a bio, photo, all of that stuff in there. And then, of course, make sure you have an email signature. I just made this in Canva, so you can go into Canva and create it for yourself, or if you need help, you can reach out. And this is important because when you are sending emails, you want to look professional. You want them to know who is sending these emails, or else they're just going to unsubscribe. So just make sure you have that, and then you can toggle on the include signature, and you'll be all good to go. That's pretty much it for the profile. Does anyone have any questions here? Anyone? All right. So I'm going to go over to the CRM. So if you have spreadsheets of leads that maybe you're transferring over, or maybe you don't have any leads and you want to import all the contacts from your phone, there is a way to import spreadsheets into kvCore. So if you already have the spreadsheet, you just need to edit the spreadsheet. So under, I believe it's under lead engine, it says bulk import. You'll see that, and then you can give it to kvCore to handle, or you can do it yourself, or you can ask me. And basically, you want to make sure that you're matching up the fields on the spreadsheet to kvCore, so it all kind of flows in the way it's supposed to. Because if you just upload it, everyone might go in as a buyer, and maybe some of them are actually, homeowners or sellers. So you just want to make sure you upload those correctly. If you are uploading from your phone, there's an app. It's called Export Contacts, I believe, and you can export all of the contacts in your phone onto a spreadsheet, and then you can just tweak the spreadsheet and upload them. A lot of people, their contacts in their phone, they don't have emails, you just have phone numbers. So I would start first collecting a bunch of emails and then upload all of your contacts. All right, so if you go under all contacts, this is where all your leads are going to be once you do have them imported here. Or if you have leads coming in from another source, this is where they're all going to be. And there's a lot of things you can do just in here. You can send mass emails, mass texts. Remember what I said about the text, the phone number. So something else to take note of is you cannot just text all of your leads in a mass text without having them subscribe. So what that means is that you have to text each person individually from kvCore and have them respond. When they respond back, that is when they will be subscribed. So I know this sounds crazy. It never used to be like this, but I guess a lot of agents were just mass texting all the time, spamming people. So now you have to basically text each person individually. So how you'll do that is you'll just click on the person's name once they're in here, and then you can just click send text. So this person actually doesn't have a phone number, so we can't text them. So you want to make sure that you gather that information. If you're not going to use kvCore for the texting, then don't worry about it. This is only if you're going to use kvCore for texting. You can also do a video message. kvCore has their own video integration. So if you want to subscribe to that as well, I believe it's $30 a month. And you can send video. So you'll be able to record from the app straight from your computer, and you can start sending out video. There's another way to add video without doing a subscription. We'll get into that if we have time. But I'm going to just let you know that there are other things you can do here. You can add a task, a hashtag. Hashtags are basically phrases, words or phrases that you can attach to the lead in order to target specific people, or maybe filter through your contacts for a specific person. So some hashtags you could use are maybe like VA, first time home buyer. You could use their price range, whatever you want for the hashtag. Just make sure you don't add the hashtag symbol. There's no need for that. And then make sure that the words are together in a phrase. And let's see what else. You can also do a lot of things in a mass way. So if you just select all, you can do a add search alert. So you actually have to create the search alert first. So we'll get to that. But once you have it created, you'll be able to set up search alerts on a mass scale. So you don't have to go one by one to set up the property search alert. You can change the status. For example, if all of these are new leads and you want to change them to new lead, you can just select all, change status, and then you can choose the status. You can also filter. So if you're looking for specific leads, you'll be able to come in here, filter. Check out these filters because there are so many. You'll be able to see who has a phone number, who doesn't. So if you're in here trying to see who doesn't have a phone number, things like that. So it just makes it easy to organize your CRM using the filter. But I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these leads so I can explain further what this all means. So there are different statuses and types. Okay, so there's sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, client, contract, closed. This is important because when you get into setting up your campaigns, you can set it up to start by status. So what that means is that if you have a bunch of new leads coming in, you can have a campaign for new lead. And that means that any new lead comes in, the campaign automatically turns on because of how they were labeled. So you want to make sure you have the correct label. So that's why I said when you import all of your leads, maybe don't put them all as a buyer. Maybe connect with the lead first and see if they're a buyer or a seller or a renter, and then have them under the correct status. That way you're sending them relevant information instead of just dumping your leads in here, setting everyone on a buyer campaign, and they may not all be a buyer. Okay. So if you have a new lead in here and you don't see their name, maybe they have like a different weird name. Sometimes people, when when they don't want to give their information, they'll just type something like a cuss word or something. You can just click right here, contact validation, and what it will do is try to pull his information. So it actually found that he's 75 years old, male, and his email and his location. So sometimes it'll give you their name, their last name, their phone number. It'll give you all of their information because it's pulling this information from social media. So sometimes it won't give you anything, and sometimes it will give you their information. That way you can make sure that you have the correct person. Whether this is accurate, I'm not sure, but a lot of times it is, because some of the information will match up. But that is there for you. And then if you're ever wondering what is going out to the lead, maybe they're responding, but you're not sure what is being sent out, you can just click on the lead and come right down here in this middle section. This is the timeline. So this is anything that has been sent out to the lead. So for example, this one is an email that got sent out. So you can just look at it and see what it says. They sent them some new listings. And the email signature is there. So that's why it's important that you do have an email signature set up. Okay, you can just keep going, and there's notes. You can add a note, excuse me, and then pin it to the top. So you may want to be taking notes, especially if you like to call your leads. Just make sure that you are taking notes while you're on the phone with them. That way, you know, you can't remember everything, especially if you're talking to a lot of people. So just jot down some notes so that way you can connect with them again and kind of ask them, you know, refresh, you know, the conversation or whatever you call it, just so they know that you're listening. So just take some notes every time you call one of your leads. You can also do a voicemail drop. This is a paid subscription. You can do a video, like I said, that is the subscription. There's also Core Present. So this is doing like comps and things like that. A lot of people don't like that tool. They like to just use their MLS. So I'm probably not going to touch on that, but so you know, you can do comps and have a presentation straight from kvCore. There's also more actions here. If you ever have a contact reply stop or leave me alone or whatever, remove me from your list, just make sure that you double check that that lead was removed. So if they say stop, remove me, unsubscribe, those are words that kvCore will register as unsubscribing, and it will automatically unsubscribe them. But if they say something else along those lines, then you may want to make sure that they were unsubscribed so you don't get into trouble. So you just come here, go to more actions, and then unsubscribe. And you'll know that it worked because right here it will say unsubscribe. It won't let you send them an email. All right, so if you go down, this is where it gets interesting. This is where you pay attention. This is all of the automation. So once you have your leads in here, you can start to set up automations. This is more like a set it and forget it type of email, right? So you don't, once you turn it on, it's automatically going to send it out. I just got the health insurance text. But you can set up a search alert. So you just click add. And then once you click add, it'll open up this tab right here. So you can also just click alerts, however you want to do it. And then you will set up the alert. So you'll have to name the search alert. This is something that you don't have to do, but you can. So like if this person was looking at luxury, you can just say luxury home or fixer upper if it's an investor. Then the email subject line, this is just saying what the email subject line says. So dynamic just means that is generated from kvCore. So they'll automatically just pick a subject line for you, or you can type your own subject line. You can say homes for sale in Houston. And then frequency, you can pick how often you want to send it out. Just be careful if you're doing ASAP or daily, because if they're not looking for homes, they're just going to unsubscribe. So just be careful with that. Make sure that your leads are actually looking. And if not, then maybe do like once a week or twice weekly. All right, email CC, you can add a daughter, son, husband, wife to these alerts just by putting their address there, email address. And then areas, you can look up by city, county, zip. So you just type them here, or you could draw on the map. So once you click draw on map, you'll just draw a circle around, and that is where it'll pull the listings from. You can also pick the listing type. So this is just basic criteria for the type of home that they're looking for. Just be careful when you're setting this up that you don't set it too exact to what they're looking for. Kind of open up the search a little bit. So maybe if their price range is 320,000 to 350, maybe open that up a little bit. Also the areas, if they're looking, only in Houston, maybe do a box around a little further out, just so you give them more options, because if you try to set it up exactly, it may not send them listings, and they're going to tell you, they're going to be like, you're not sending me property. And you're going to say, well, there's nothing matching. So just make sure you send them a lot of options. And then you can click save and view, and this will just show you what the results are. But if you click save and send, it'll send them the email with this property search right away. So that is what you're going to want to do, is send it right away, because if you save and view, it doesn't send it right then and there. It'll Okay, the other automation, so those are the search alerts. That's if you want to send them property. Campaigns, these are emails that are going to go out at specific intervals. So if you have a campaign that's for new lead, so we have a new lead, buyer, sphere, seller, and past client. So over time, you may want to grow your campaigns. So each of your campaigns will be for specific leads, right? You want to get more specific with your campaign, so that way you're talking about things that are more relevant to them and things that make sense to them. So for example, if you have Zillow leads and Facebook leads, maybe you want to have a campaign that talks about how you connected with them through Zillow, and you have a Facebook one that says you connected through Facebook, and things like that, right? So you want to just be more relevant. But to set up the campaign, you'll just come here. It has to be toggled on in the campaign section. If it's not toggled on, you won't see them here. So you want to make sure you toggle that on, and then you'll see your campaigns here, and you'll just select and then click add. Okay, so we'll probably have to get into campaigns another time, because it's very in-depth. Want to make sure you have it set up correctly and things like that. But to set it up, you'll just do it. You could do it right here. Market reports, this is something that you can set it up for their specific neighborhood if you know what neighborhood they're in, or you can set it up by city, zip code, and this is just going to send them an email about a market report. So it's just going to say, I don't think it has one here. I'll just go ahead and send it so I can show you guys. Oh, let's see. So let's see. So it says it doesn't have information, so I'm going to try to type it again, and instead of clicking neighborhood, I'm going to click on city, and it was on 28 days. I'm going to click add. I'm going to cancel this one. So make sure you're selecting city unless it's an actual neighborhood, and then we're going to click on send now. Okay, so it says market report was sent successfully. So right here, it says updated market report. I want you guys to see what it looks like. So it's just going to send them like statistics, average sale price, days on market, and then it tells them that they can view it here. And this is going to open up the app. So kvCore does have an app now. It's called the Homeowner something app. And then they can sign up here, and they can actually have the app on their phone where they can look at things. They can look at their home value, all that kind of stuff. This is new, so a lot of agents don't like it, but it is in the emails already. So there's really not anything you can do about that. But there's listings here they can look at and things like that. So definitely make use of this if you don't have anything else. My MLS gives me the opportunity to have an app where they can search property, so I try to market that app more than the kvCore one. But like I said, just use the tools that you have, and then the listing valuation. So there, like I said, there's Core Present, there's a seller report, there's the app there, but the most important things I would set up is the search alert, the market report, the listing valuation. So this is going to give them a market report, I'm sorry, a home valuation of their property. So you want to make sure that if it is a seller, if they're a homeowner, that you're capturing addresses. That way you can put their address in here and it will send them a home valuation. Okay, whether this is accurate or not, I can tell you that it's sometimes not. Okay, and that's because kvCore is pulling this information from other sources and sometimes it might be outdated. And so, maybe there's not enough comps in the area to really give them an accurate valuation. But it is a conversation starter for sure. Because people might get it and say, hey, like my house is not worth $1 million. So I would utilize that. But check it out, look at it, make sure that it's accurate before you go sending it to them. But just so you know, these tools are here for you. All right, so this is pretty much it for the profile. I would also add two more things. If you go under profile details, you can add their birthday and their closing date. So if you have a past client in here, you want to add their closing date, because what it's going to do is if you toggle this on, it's going to send them an email and text every single year. And then the same thing for the birthday. If you put their birthday, it's going to send them a birthday text every year. So it says email/text, but what's going to happen is if they have a phone number in kvCore, it's going to send them a text first. It's not going to send them an email. If they don't have a phone number, then it will send them an email. So it always sends text first. Okay. So if you don't want text going out, don't add a phone number in kvCore. So if you connect your Google account, you can upload files, like their pre-approvals and things like that, just so you have everything in one spot. And then if you connect your SkySlope, you'll be able to see your transactions for this lead under their profile as well. And then if you want to set up a task, if you want to be reminded to call them, follow up with them, you can leave a task reminder in here with a specific date and time, and it will send you an email so you can do what you got to do. All right. So that's pretty much it for the profile. There's a bunch of tools in there for you. If you are wanting to send holiday emails, New Year's is right around the corner, and you can schedule out for next year as well, and you don't have to worry about it. Or if you want to do newsletters, there is a way to schedule emails out for all of your leads. If you send the mass email here and you just click mass email, what it's going to do is only send it to this first page of leads that you have checked. Okay, and then you're going to have to go page by page. So right here, you're on page 1. So you're going to have to do mass email, send the email, and then you're going to have to close it out and go to page 2. Okay, so if you want to send it to everyone, don't go this way. Don't go that route, because it's going to be a pain in the butt. And it also sends the email right at this moment. So if you're trying to schedule holiday emails and newsletters, you don't want to do it through here. Okay, so where you're going to go is under all marketing. So there's something called a mass email scheduler. If my computer will load, I'll show you. It is an amazing tool right here. It says schedule mass emails. So if you want to schedule out your newsletters or, like I said, holiday emails, you'll be able to do it here. The only problem is that when you click on get started, kvCore added this new thing where you have to sign up to use it. Okay, I know it sounds really dumb because this is a feature we've been using for years, and now you have to, new people, like if you haven't used it yet, you have to sign up to use it. So just make sure you do that now. It is going to take a day or two to get it up and running, but then you'll be able to use it. So you're just going to click on yes to proceed to sign up, and you're just going to fill this out. And it just wants to know, how do you plan on using scheduled emails? You just say, for my real estate business. That's it. You should be able to use this. So then you'll just submit this form, and then they'll give you access. She doesn't have access. So I may need to log. I'll show you how to send emails, because it's gonna be the same thing. So once you click get started and you have access, it's going to say schedule email. And then what's going to happen is going to open up something like this. Okay. It's going to open up the email editor so you can schedule out your email. The only difference is it's going to tell you to select a time and date. Okay, so you'll schedule out when do you want to send it, and then it's going to show you the email editor where you can start your email. Okay, what I like to do is I like to use the advanced editor. So if you just toggle on advanced editor, it'll open up, and this is where you can create your email. So when you create the email, it's just drag and drop. So you just drag it over. You can upload a picture here. You can do some text. But if you're like, I don't know how to do all that, you can just click right here on template and you can just type, let's say, holiday. And then they already have emails here for you. So there's no excuse why you can't be doing this because they created emails already. So you just look for the one that says Happy New Year 2024. And there you go. It's already here for you. If you want to add something, if you want to add a video, you can. And this is where I was going to show you how you can use a free video. So instead of subscribing to the core video, you can use a video for free. You just drag over this video button and click on it. And as you can see, it says you have to have the video on YouTube or Vimeo. That's the catch. But once it's there and you have a URL, you can put the URL here and it'll have your YouTube video here for free. Okay. I recommend that you upload the video as unlisted in kvCore. That way no one can see your Happy New Year video, unless you don't mind, of course. All right, so that's how you'll add a video. Make sure you are using video. I can tell you right now, after doing kvCore services for so long, I have seen the success for the agents that add video. Okay, they come to me and they say, I got a listing literally a week after we put the video. So just please take some time to record video. It doesn't have to be a video in every single email, but at least, you know, every so often send a video. Maybe once a month, you can send a newsletter with a video, just telling them how the market is. You can, when you create your campaigns, have a video in like every other email or every couple of emails. That way they can see you, because if they don't see you, they don't know you. And if they don't know you and you're sending them emails, they're unsubscribing. I can almost guarantee. So once you start setting up your campaigns, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, all these people are unsubscribing. And it's because they don't know you. And you're probably just sending out buyer emails and not all of them are buyers. Okay, so just be very, what is the word? Intentional with your kvCore. Really try to connect with them, know what their plan is, what their goal is, show them your face, okay? So you can just edit this email. You can brand this email. So if you want to change the background color, you can really mess around with this and make it look cool. You can change the font color, the font type, this button here. You can also change the color of that, you know, how big it is. So you can play around with this and make it look like you, like your brand. And then you will just schedule it out. Just be careful, because right here, whenever you see these little parentheses, like this says signature, but then it's also including the signature. So you don't want to send your signature twice. So I just take that one out and then just have your signature that you create. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just want to schedule out this email and then click send. It is gonna send it. If we're in the scheduler, it's gonna send it out the time and date that you selected. Okay, but this email editor is available for you anywhere. So if you're sending out an individual email, if you're sending out from here, quick actions, wherever you're sending an email from, it gives you the opportunity to use this advanced editor. Okay, and use your templates. So if you don't want to use the advanced editor, you can just select, you can just type an email, but this is boring. So that's why I say to use the scheduler, I'm sorry, the advanced editor. Okay, because you can't really add anything here. All right, so that's how you send an email. You can schedule them, you can send it to individuals, you can mass email them. Another thing I want you to do is to go back into all marketing. And then right here where it says market reports and valuations, this is new. If you click on it and you toggle these on, it'll automatically set up those automations that I was showing you earlier for the market report and the listing valuation. Okay, so when this is toggled on, and let's say you upload a lead and you type in their address, it's automatically going to send them a home valuation. So you don't have to go copy, paste it, set it up. It'll automatically do it. Same thing with a market report. If they're looking at listings in a specific area, it'll set up a market report for that area. So this is something you may want to turn on. Okay. And then if you want to edit those birthday emails and texts, you just go right in here under birthday and anniversary. So anything that you're sending out is all going to be under this paper airplane here. Just think about that. Every time you see it, that's where you're going to send things out. And then you'll be able to click here, learn more, and you can edit the template. So the template just means a saved email. So if you go under all marketing, then you go under smart campaigns. These are where your campaigns are going to be. But if you notice up here, it says templates. Okay, so if you click on templates, you'll be able to see a bunch of the saved emails. So this is where all those holiday emails, all of that is saved. So if you want to edit, you'll be able to edit. Okay, one of the things that I tell people is to create an email of your lenders, right? So if you have multiple lenders that you're working with, you can just create an email with all of their information. That way, when you start working with the buyer, you already have email templates to send them. So you can send them like a welcome email or, connect with our lender. Okay, so you can start to create these emails right here and click add template, email template. And like I said, it's going to open this up and you can just click on advanced editor and that will open up the editor. Okay. And you can start to fill this out. So template name, that is where you saw at the top where I typed in holiday. You just name the template so you can find it later. And then you'll have a subject line and then you can start to build out your email. All right, so if you're trying to stack these boxes and for some reason it's not working, you may have to add rows. These rows are good if you are doing like a newsletter or something. You can have like recipes in here, whatever you want to add, events happening in your area, and you'll just start to line it up and decorate it and then save it. That way you don't have to keep playing in here with these emails. You already have them created and you can just, take stuff out and things like that. Okay. So since we're under campaigns, so under all marketing, smart campaigns, this is where you can start to set up those automated emails. Okay, kvCore already has a library of emails. If you click here, kvCore library, you can start to look at them and add them to your library. All right, so you just click add and they'll go over here to your library. Once they're in your library, you can come here and click on it and this will open up the campaign. So like I was saying earlier, if you're in your contacts and you see on the side where it says campaigns and you want to set it up, but you don't see it, it's probably because your campaigns are not toggled on. So that's how you will toggle it on. So in under contacts, you'll be able to turn on the campaign for whatever lead you have. So you just come here, you can click on it and you'll be able to read the emails. So don't go turning on campaigns without actually looking at the emails, because then, like I said, people are going to unsubscribe because you don't even know what you're sending out. They don't know who you are and what you're sending them. So just make sure you take a look at these and you start to make edits to them. Okay, so you just click on edit and you'll be able to look at the message. And if for some reason you can't edit the message, it's probably because it's not in your library yet. So you need to make sure you add to the library and then you'll be able to edit. Okay, the other reason you're probably not able to edit is because it was created with the advanced template. So like you see right here, I can't change this message. It's because I need to click on the advanced template. And then once this opens up, you'll be able to edit the message. Okay, you can drag stuff over and all of that. Okay. So there is a button here to add your social media, but I don't use this because if you notice before in the email signature, I added the social media buttons. So that way it's on every single email and you don't have to use this. Okay. So that is the campaign. You'll just keep going down and looking at the emails and text. If you do have text that you're going to be using, make sure that you are including your phone number in the text, like I was telling you. Okay, because you want to make sure that they're not going to call you on the phone number that you're using, which is the kvCore smart number. So here you could say, if you'd like to reach me, you can contact me on my cell, and then you can put your cell phone number there. Okay, and then do it on every single text message. That way you never miss out on a lead. Because I did have an agent tell me that she was not aware of this, and she was texting all of her leads, and someone actually stole her lead, someone that she knew. Because the way that it works is your shared number is your office. So what that means is anyone that's associated with your local MLS. So I don't know how they break that up, but it is someone local. It was actually, when I did the test, it was actually someone's sponsor that was getting the call. So we called her smart number to see if it was true, if it did like a round robin, and it called her sponsor. So just be mindful of that. Put your phone number in the text message if you're going to be sending them out, or just text them from your phone. Just be sure that you're texting them if you're sending an email and having them check in their spam folder for that email, and start to get your emails out of the spam. Once your emails, start getting out of spam, it'll help with your spam rate, and not many of your emails will go to the spam folder anymore because you are following the rules for the CAN Spam Act. Okay, so that's it. That's it. There's a lot to learn. At least now you know where to start setting up your profile, getting your contacts in here. Make sure you're capturing their email, their phone, putting them in here, sending them emails, setting up the automations, and then texting them and telling them to check for the email, and just connecting with your leads. That's the most important thing. Throwing people in here and setting up all this automation is not going to get you business. What's going to get you business is actually staying in contact with them. Maybe give them a call and let them know you sent them an email, ask them how they're doing, take some notes. And now when they get their emails, your emails, they actually know who you are, right? They connected with you. So it's important that you pick up the phone if you want to be successful. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Are you guys falling asleep on me?
No, so to send the text messages, we just go to that what's that one that mass text, and then we just say hello, and then we put our cell number at the bottom, right? And then it will send it to everybody.
Yes. Well, you don't. So that's the thing, is you can't mass text everyone unless they subscribe. So you have to do it
Oh,
individually.
okay.
So you have to click on
Okay.
the lead and then click send text. And in that text to that individual, you'll put your phone number. And what you can do is create it in a template so you don't have to keep typing it out. So if you go back
Hmm.
under where I showed you under the smart campaigns, and you go to templates, instead of email, you click text, and you can create a text that says, hey, I sent you an email. If you can just, check and make sure you got it. If you want to reach me on my cell phone, whatever. And then that way, for every individual, you don't have to type it out. You just go click on text, and it'll let you search for a template. And then you can just keep going like that.
Okay. All right.
Right.
And do you know a good app to do the export on our contact, or is it just look up one?
Yeah, I think it's called Export, because some of them you do have to pay for it, but that's the one I used that was free. You didn't have to pay. But I think it's up to like 250 people at a time. I'm not sure. You'll have to just see what works best. But like I said, make sure you're capturing everyone's email before you export.
Okay.
All
Right.
right.
Well, Alyssa, I really appreciate you. Is there any way you can go back? I think there was a couple of people that were asking about, let's say you meet a client today, and normally we go through the MLS and set up the one home. I don't know if that's what you guys use in Florida with the one home or not, but let's say that, for example, Paola has a client and she wants to set them up with reoccurring emails about the home they're looking at, or they're looking for a house in zip code 76065, and their budget is $500,000. Could you just walk them through the entire process of that? Because I think that would be step one on when they meet a client, how to set them up with the search.
Yeah, of course. So what you're gonna do, the first thing you have to do is add the client to kvCore, right? So you're just gonna click right here in quick actions. This is the easiest way to do it because it doesn't matter what screen you're on. You can just click add contact. So quick actions, add contact. I'm just gonna add myself in here. You guys can see. Make sure you add as much information as possible. Make sure you get their email. You have to put an email. If you don't have the email, then I wouldn't even put them in here, because it does make you put the email. So make sure you have the email. You can put the phone number. Remember that when you have a phone number in here, it'll automatically send a text first if you're putting like closing date, birthday. So if you don't want any text messages going out whatsoever, just don't put the cell phone. And then here you want to make sure you subscribe them. So even though you're putting permission to contact here, doesn't mean they're automatically subscribed to the text. But still you want to put yes for all. Make sure you have an address if they're a seller or homeowner. Make sure that they're labeled correctly. If you're not sure, you can just um, select multiple. You can just say maybe they're a buyer and a seller. Maybe they're a buyer or a renter. Maybe this is an agent that you want to do some agent attraction. A vendor, maybe it's just lenders that you're adding in here, so you can contact them. And then the lead status. So sphere is probably like people that you know, people that you've spoken with, talked to. Prospect, maybe someone that's not a new lead, someone that's been in here for a while. New lead is someone that's just coming in. Active lead, this is someone that you're actively working with. Client, so you don't have to use all of these statuses. There are a lot. Maybe you just want to use sphere, new lead, and closed for your past clients, people that you haven't worked with. Sphere, people that you have worked with. It's up to you how you set this up. Okay, and then the lead source is how you met this person or how they came into kvCore. If you don't select anything, it's just going to say that you manually added them. So if you want to remember how you met this person, just include the source. Okay, so like I said, if it's an open house, maybe you change this to open house, so you don't forget. And then you don't have to select your name, but you can, your campaigns, if you have a campaign you automatically want to turn on, you can do that here. You can add your lender if your lender has kvCore. And then you can CC the lender on all of the communications, and then notes. So you can, if you did meet them at an open house, you can put it here in the notes. You can also add a hashtag open house. And these are all ways to help you remember about this lead. Because if you're just throwing your leads in here and you're not making any notes or hashtags or anything, you're probably going to be like, I don't even know who these people are. Right? When you go start looking at your contacts, you see someone is looking at property, you're going to click and you're not even going to know anything about them. So just go ahead and click on add contact. Once the contact is in here, they'll have a profile. This profile is where you'll set up the alerts. So there's two different ways you can do it. You can click right here on alerts, or you can click right here on search alerts. You're just going to click add, and this will open up the alert where you can set up all of the criteria. Okay. So you don't have to name the alert. Anything that has like this little star thingy, that's what you need to be filling out. So the subject line, you can just say homes for sale in whatever area, or you can just leave it on the dynamic subject line and let kvCore handle it. You can also select the frequency. So if this person is looking to move ASAP, put ASAP. If they are, thinking about buying, but maybe their credit's not so great, maybe send them twice a week, right? Because you don't want to bombard them. I don't know about you guys, but I try to keep my email important stuff only. I don't like signing up for subscriptions. I don't like getting a bunch of marketing emails in my email. I like to keep it clean so whoever you're sending might feel the same way. So if they're not looking to buy, they may just unsubscribe. So just keep it to a minimum so you're not overloading their mailbox. And then just select the area. So if they're looking in a specific area, you can put the zip code here. You can also put the city there. You can also do county. So city, county, zip, or you could draw on the map. So if you draw on the map, you can just back out and maybe put a really big square around this area, unless they are only looking in a specific area. Then you can zoom in and you can say, okay, I know they're looking around this area right here. So this box will help you only keep, only send listings in that specific area. Okay. Remember that I said to leave their options open. So even if they said they're only looking in this area, maybe open it up a little bit so it will send them more listings, because you never know, they might change their mind and say, you know what, we want to move a little bit outside of the city, right? So just send them, give them a little more options. And then you can also select the listing type. So if they are looking only for houses, only send them houses. If they are, they're just open to whatever they can find, then you can put townhouse, maybe add some condos in there and send them anything that's in their price range. And then you can put the price range here. Make sure you open it up a little bit, because if you keep it very specific, then it's only going to send them listings that are in that specific area or that specific price, and there may not be a lot of homes. So they're going to say that you're not sending them any property, right? So just open up the search a little bit, and then just select how many bedrooms, bathrooms, and then that's pretty much it. There are some other amenities here. So if they're like, I want a new home, you can select newly built. If they're looking for a waterfront view, then you can do that. Okay. What else? If they don't want HOA, no HOA. 1 story, 2 story. So there's so many different options here, but like I said, it's going to restrict the results. So keep it open, and then you can go ahead and set alert or save it and send it. Make sure that you send it now so you can be sure that they get it. Unless you're doing all this at 12 o'clock in the morning, then I would just set the alert. Don't send it because they may get it at 12 o'clock, and then you won't be able to text them to make sure that they got the message. Okay, so make sure you do this at a decent time so you can follow up, make sure that they got it. So that way you send it, you tell them, hey, I sent over an email with some property. I just want to make sure you got it. And then they can say, yep, I got it. And, just ask them to reply, ask them to respond to the email so you can confirm that they got it and they got it out of the spam folder. Okay, and then once you have this search alert set up, it'll show you the property. So it'll show you the results. It'll say like 500 results or 2 results, and it'll show you the properties that are going to be sent. Okay. And then if you're wondering if the email even sent, then you can go back over here to the timeline and you'll be able to see right here. It'll show you that it's sent. Okay. And you can also click refresh and see if it's sent, because one thing about kvCore is it's a little bit slow. So if you're in kvCore doing something like sending an email or setting up a campaign, if you're deleting leads or something like that, sometimes it just takes a while to load. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's something that I can do on the open houses, right?
Yes. Just make sure you're labeling them as open house so you know where you met them.
Okay.
And if you're using it for open house, there's also something called the open house, what is it called? Core open house. You can download it on your tablet, your laptop, and you can search for the MLS number. And what it's going to do is create a virtual sign-in sheet. So you may bring your sign-in sheet or have the laptop there too. Once they sign in on the laptop to the open house app, they'll automatically be put in your CRM. So you don't have to go through the sheet and type everything. Everyone will already be in here.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa. I really appreciate you coming out, hanging out with the TXRE group, and
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
we'll be in touch. Hopefully, everybody got some value out of this, and we'll be talking soon. Cool. All right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right,
It's nice to
thank
meet
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.